Why are there almost no single-family homes for sale in Sausalito right now?
If you've been looking online, you might think there's plenty of inventory, but when you separate out the condos, townhomes, multi-unit properties, and floating homes, there's currently only one true single-family home actively available. 137 Crescent Avenue, listed at $5.180 million. That's it for the entire city.
Meanwhile, desirable homes in prime Sausalito locations are moving quickly. So what does this mean if you're thinking about selling your home? And what does it mean if you're trying to buy one?
I'm Stephanie Pratt with Golden Gate Sotheby's International Realty, and I've lived in Sausalito for more than 2 decades, and I've helped buyers and sellers throughout Marin for more than 23 years. Let's take a closer look at what's actually happening right now. Yes, there is some inventory in Sausalito, but not all inventory is interchangeable. In the MLS snapshot that I pulled on August 11th, the active market included literally just one true single-family home available, compared to 14 condo and townhome type properties, 7 multi-units or income property, and 6 floating homes for sale. Another 11 properties were already contingent or pending, and among those, only 2 were single-family homes. That is exactly why I look underneath the headline number. A condo, a townhome, a triplex, or a detached single-family home in one of Sausalito's prime neighborhoods are very different markets. Consumer real estate sites such as Zillow can be a useful starting point, but they don't always capture the accurate real-time status or the nuances of how a property is classified. So I rely on the MLS, which is our multiple listing service for realtors, and direct communication with my colleagues and what I'm seeing out in the field. What happens when the right home hits? Earlier this year, I listed 18 Laurel Lane for $3.898 million. Within 9 days, we received 5 offers. The home sold for $4.6 million, all cash, more than $700,000 over asking. That result wasn't simply because of the low inventory. The home was beautifully prepared, thoughtfully presented, and strategically priced to create maximum interest. And this wasn't an isolated example. 22 Filbert Avenue sold for $1 million over their transparent asking price of $2.495 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1744 square foot home after receiving 7 offers. No, these aren't typical results, and they don't mean every home will sell dramatically over asking, but they do show what can happen when a highly desirable property meets a deep buyer pool and very limited inventory. We're also seeing how quickly good homes in prime locations can move. 63 Bulkley Avenue in the Banana Belt came to market just under $4.9 million and is already pending. It's a good illustration of how limited the window can be when the right Sausalito home becomes available. Why a Zestimate can't tell you the whole story. Here's where Sausalito gets complicated. You can't just look at a Zestimate or another online valuation or even a house that sold a few streets away and assume that's what your home is worth. An algorithm can't walk your home. It can't stand in your living room and experience the view, understand your microclimate, assess your condition and improvements, and know how buyers will respond to your particular location. Views, architecture, parking, usable outdoor space and condition, and walkability to Caledonia Street, downtown, and the ferry all can affect value. Sometimes 2 homes can appear similar on paper, but have very different market values. If you're curious what your home could command in this market, please reach out. I'll walk your home in person and give you a no obligation real estate evaluation. Not a guess, not an algorithm, a real market read based on what buyers are actually paying for Sausalito homes right now. Since I'm also a resident, I've seen all the comparable sales and I have a vested interest in our property values as well. But if I sell, where would I go? That's the biggest hesitation I hear from homeowners right now. Selling for top dollar in a hot market sounds great, but if the inventory is so low, where am I supposed to live? That's a legitimate concern. But in a strong seller's market, your leverage isn't only about price. The terms can sometimes be structured around what you actually need. A strong buyer may be willing to provide provide a rent back after closing, potentially even at no cost to you, giving you extra time to find your next home, where you can make a strong cash offer with the proceeds from your sale. You may also be able to negotiate a longer closing period or make the sale contingent on the seller finding a replacement property so you don't end up homeless. And in some situations, there may be a chance to find a qualified buyer off market without going through the full process of preparing and showing your home publicly, but none of this is automatic. Every transaction is different, but selling doesn't have to mean getting a great price and then scrambling to figure out where you're going to live. So does this mean I'm telling every Sausalito homeowner to sell right now? Absolutely not. But if you've been thinking about a move in the next year or two, I do think this is an important moment to understand your options. We know what the market looks like today. We don't know what the inventory, the rates, or the demand will look like a year or more from now. Sometimes the smartest first step isn't listing your home. It's simply understanding what it's worth, what buyers might pay for it, and what terms might be available, so you can decide whether making a move actually makes sense right now. And what does this mean for buyers? For buyers, a market like this needs a different strategy. When a desirable single-family home comes up, you want to be ready to evaluate it quickly, but that doesn't necessarily mean chasing every new listing. For my active buyers, whenever possible, I usually preview the property first. I know the neighborhoods, the microclimates, and many of the homes, so I can help decide if something is genuinely a good fit before asking a client to rearrange their schedule. Also, many of my buyers live outside the area, so I often take video walkthroughs or do a FaceTime tour so they can evaluate the property quickly without having to be here in person. But in a market this tight, you also want to know about what's coming up next. I regularly talk to homeowners and my network about properties that may be coming on soon, quietly available, or potentially available to purchase off market, sometimes before anyone else even knows about it. I recently helped buyers who had been searching on their own for years. After a couple of months of working together, I connected them with a private property that never came on the open market. Within days, they were in contract on their dream Sausalito home and closed escrow within 2 weeks, and they couldn't be happier. But it doesn't mean every buyer should buy off market. It means you want access to every possible opportunity so you get to decide why demand remains strong. I've talked in another video about the wealth being created in San Francisco, particularly around the AI and technology, and why I believe some of that demand is moving north into southern Marin. Sausalito sits in a very unusual position. We're within minutes across the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco, but the lifestyle can feel worlds away. So when strong demand meets an extremely limited supply of homes buyers want most, you get the kind of market we're experiencing today. The math is simple. Low supply, high demand, that's a seller's market. And you may be sitting on more than you think. So whether you're considering selling or trying to buy in Sausalito, don't make your decisions solely on what you see online. If you're a homeowner, let's connect, even if you're not ready to sell yet. And if you're a buyer, I can help you understand not only what's available now, but what's coming up and what may be available off market. Again, I'm Stephanie Pratt with Golden Gate Sotheby's International Realty. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and join me as we continue exploring the Marin lifestyle, luxury real estate, property tours, and what's really happening in the southern Marin market. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.